Well, it's probably a good thing for the viewers that YouTube limits me down to about 15 minutes on videos, because otherwise this thing would probably go on and on here. What we're going to do now is explain kind of what we've been doing the last couple of weeks, and we'll get to that. So we had a comment from one of the viewers that they were wondering how patched round balls would work in the guns here, and I've been wondering kind of the same thing. So I commented back, well, if we get time, we'll check that out, and we did get some time, so we did check it out. We started with our 1860 Pietta here, copy of an 1860 Army, or somewhat of a copy. And because the 451 round ball that we used would definitely be too large with the patches, we found some 433 O's that we had cast up here for, I think it was for a flintlock gun. And those would be small enough to be able to put some patching around the ball. What we did is we lubed up some strips here with our lube, and kind of melted that and then soaked the strips in them, and then we cut them out in squares like this. And what we're going to do is patch that 433 round ball into the end of the chambers here. So we had the cylinder out of the gun, and what we did is we made kind of a, what I call a false starter here, that would kind of help out with patching these things. So we kind of were able to push that round ball down in there, and then worked them into our chambers over here with our loading lever device. We've got around, I think, around 16 targets here that we shot in the last couple of weeks. Well, here's the first one that we shot with this 1860 Army when we patched up 6 of these round balls. I believe this is the first one. And we had a fairly decent group, actually. We used 21 grains of 3F Goex, and that was a patched 433 round ball. So that's kind of what we got on our first group. Second group shot a fair amount higher here. I'm not really sure why that was, except maybe the chambers being fouled up caused a little more pressure or something. Anyway, these were our second 6 shots, and those things were really showing promise. So it was getting a little later about that time, and we kind of quit for the day. So after shooting this target on the 12th, I think, of September, we took a little vacation and went out and visited my brother out in New Mexico. Came back a 3 weeks later and decided we would see how these would shoot in an 1858 Pietta style gun with those same patch round balls. So we did that on the 10th of October when we got back. First thing we did, and shot this group, 21 grains of 3F Goex using a 433. That same one over here, patch round ball. Of course, I'm lubing that with lube that I mixed up. That was our first target, really decent with the Remington. And the second group wasn't bad either. I had some velocities over here, but we used a 017 linen patch, and we used our lube again on that patch. So again, we found that with the round ball, the patch just worked really well. I thought as long as we shot 2 targets here, 12 shots with the patch round ball, we would switch over to just lubed wad and use that. And here's the first target that we shot with that. Again, not bad. I got 4 of them down in this area, a couple up in here. Not sure why that is, but that's kind of the issue that I've had with shooting the wads. Every now and then I get what appears to be flyers. So that was our first target, and second target wasn't a whole lot better that way. Actually, a couple over in here that I'm wondering about. That was our second target we shot with the wads. So we thought, okay, let's go to using the lube on the end of the chambers like I normally shoot, and I shot 2 targets with that. And here's our first group there, and that's usually pretty decent, no complaints there. And second one was equally as good. So I'd say out of the 6 targets that we shot, there's the ones that we used lube on the end of the chambers. Here's the ones that we used wads over the powder, and then we've got our 2 here that we shot with patching the round ball. This was the first target, and there's our second one. As I said, I had a few weeks to think about things, so 10 days later on the 17th, next Sunday I think, I decided to patch up some conicals. And the first conical was shot up here, and that was patched with a 15 thousandths pillow ticking. Some of the stuff over here thicker, and we tried to patch the 429 44 special or 44 mag bullet with that, and found out that the patching was a little too tight for that, so it actually ripped on the way down into the chambers here. So we loaded up five more, but not with the 429. Instead, we switched over to these 40 caliber 3840s, ones that are point, I think 401. So they were almost like 15 or 30,000 smaller, 15 on the sides. So we could use our thicker patches, which we did, and we loaded 5 that way. And here's the 5 that we shot out of this 130 twist Pietta. And as we had one here that was a larger, the 429, and also that was our first cylinder. Sometimes things fall up a little differently, so we loaded up 5 this time, or 6 actually, of the 4440s, and this is the way those things shot. So I called this one to the right, I believe. Otherwise, seemed to be doing real well. This is our first shot, so we've got 4 in here, 21 yards. Things are looking pretty decent. And I had only, I think, 5 patches left that I had cut, so I just loaded 5, and this is the 5 that we shot on our third target. There's a group of 3 up here. So again, this was looking pretty decent on the 1 in 30 twist Pietta 1858. So a conical normally needs a faster twist to stabilize than the round ball does. So we thought, well, let's go to our 1 in 16. I think this is a 1 in 16, 1 in 18 twist Pietta that was purchased in 2015. The other gun is a 2011 model, somewhere between 11 and 15. Pietta switched to the faster twist from the 1 in 30. So thought, okay, let's patch up some of these 429s, go back to those things. Those are a good bullet. I've always had luck with those things. We found a patching material that was 10 thousandths cotton, lubed that up, and we were able to patch the 429s with that. And the target that we shot, first one we shot here, used 21 grains of 3F, been sticking with that load all the time. The 429 patched, lube patch, and there's our first target. Things were looking pretty good. Went to our second target, thinking actually we might even shoot better than that, but turns out it shot considerably worse. So not sure what happened. We actually think the twist is being too fast. Maybe it's dripping totally, and the bullet's getting no turn at all to it, no stability, because it's not turning at all. So that was our second target. We also wondered whether or not it was the 429 that was giving us trouble, so we switched back to our 40 calibers that we had good luck with in this slower twist Pietta. Switched those things for the third target. Went to our heavier patching material, and things rattled down the barrel pretty well. Had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the target, 1 off the target, so that just didn't work out. So we had some fairly good luck shooting the patch round balls here in the 1 in 30 twist Piettas, and also not real bad with some of the conicals. But we're not doing that anymore, and I'll explain the reason why. Because these patches go into the chambers. Sometimes you get a little bit of the stuff that's frayed. It's always hanging out here on it. And it turned out we were watching our camera, and these things actually start burning. I mean, they don't burn like a big fire, but they start smoldering away. So if that were to not get stopped by the side of the conical bullet or the round ball, that's going to be like a fuse going right in here to your powder charge. So you set your gun down, think things are okay, and this one's burning in, and about 20 seconds later the thing goes off, possibly. So even though we might see some possibilities for shooting these things, these patches, we're not going to go with that because of the potential danger problems that we're seeing with them. So that's the reason that we're not doing this anymore, and those 16 targets that we had probably be the end of the shooting for the patches. The next part here shows where I was actually shooting this gun several days back with the patch conicals, and I decided I wanted to go with the 451 round ball, shooting actual black powder rather than the black MZ substitute that I had used in it a couple years back when I first shot this gun. After shooting these 3 targets with our patches, we didn't really get that good of results. We're thinking the barrel twisted a little fast. This is a 1 in 18. Thought a 1 in 18 might be really decent for shooting the conicals, but I'm seeing some signs that these things are actually wobbling, so not a good deal. Also noticed that one of the patches in here kind of caught fire one time when we shot it, and that would not be a good deal if it was actually like a fuse and going back into the powder charge. So we think we're not going to do much more with the patch, but we want to shoot this gun with the round ball because we shot it a couple years back. It was new then. Actually got out of the box, and it had some rust on the inside of the barrel, 2 years back. We bought the gun about 2015, but shot really well. And I was using black MZ, I think, at that time. I want to see how it shoots with 21 grains of the 3F Go-X and a 451 round ball, and all I'll end up doing is putting some lube here on the end of the cylinders like I normally do, and see how this gun shoots. So we're going to load this thing up and shoot some round ball with it. 451 round ball, and we're going to shoot 6 of these things, just kind of get a reality check. So we'll shoot these 6 and see how they go. Well, that shot well. Center of the group probably about an inch and a half below the black there, and probably about a 2-inch group total spread from the 6 shots. That's the way we'd like to end the shooting season. That's an out-of-the-box Pietta too. I've never touched the sights on that gun. That's the way it's shooting with 21 grains of our 3F Go-X and the 451 round ball.